That is the connecting piece. But for the
Hey, don't go to bed without washing your face. Also moisturize and use a serum or two. Your skin will love you. Go to www.gobeautiful.com for vegan, luxurious skincare. No carcinogens, no parabens, eco-friendly, and your skin will love you for it. Good night.
Thank you for tuning in to Bestie's Building Brands podcast. If you're interested in being a guest or having your business advertised on our podcast, please send an email to podcastmanager@bestiesandbiz.com. After the show, don't forget to head over to Facebook and Instagram to subscribe to our page, Besties Building Brands.
Hey guys, welcome back to
that episode was very nice.
Thank you. I love it. It'll still probably get tweaked, but I think it was cool. Yes, we had to upgrade a little bit. So I want to welcome everybody to another episode of Besties Building Brands, the podcast. We have two dynamic women on. They're going to be giving us some knowledge around finances and mindset. So make sure you have your notepads out. But before we get started, we're going to play our game, our this or that game. So as always, I'll ask the questions. You just have to blurt out the answers without thinking about it. So your very first answer off the top of your head, okay?
Okay.
All right. Ariel or Jasmine?
Jasmine.
Cosby Show or A Different World?
Different world.
Show.
Cosby.
Okay. Cat or dog?
Dog.
Laundry or dishes?
Laundry.
Bath or shower?
Shower.
Godfather or Star Wars?
Godfather.
New clothes or a new phone?
New clothes.
Phone.
Money or free time?
Free time.
Free time.
Ex permission or forgiveness?
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
Netflix or Hulu?
Netflix.
Hulu.
iPhone or Android?
Android.
Oh, wow. Okay.
See my Android. See my A4.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, we have one more question, and so I hope you guys get it right, so we don't have to end the show. You know what I mean? I let everybody know from the jump. Say the right answer. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Fresh Prince or Martin?
Martin.
What you say? You said the Fresh Prince?
Absolutely. Philly girl.
Wow.
Philly girl, Overbrook graduate, Fresh Prince. Shut it down.
But he made a whole song like, that he loved Miami. But okay, cool. It's cool though. Like you'll get a pass. All right. So thank you guys again for coming on the show. We used to read bios, but I think it's better if you introduce yourself. So we'll start with Rachel. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Well, thank you for having me. Let's start with that. I'm really excited about being here. I've been thinking about this all day, but I am Rachael Hanible. I am the founder of Miss and Peace Financial Group, where for the last 6 years, I've been a personal finance coach for adults, helping them on their road to financial freedom. And I'm also a certified financial educator for kids. I teach finance classes for kids starting at the age of 3, going all the way up to college age, when I teach them about banking, budgeting, investing, entrepreneurship, credit, and everything in between. I became completely debt free. I paid off $92,000 worth of debt, and I saved up a year's worth of my income in cash, and my credit score is almost at a perfect score. So I've been 8 years over 800. So I have been, just on my journey with helping my people on their road towards financial freedom.
Wow, that's awesome. We definitely have to find out how you did that. And the Passion Strategist, tell us about yourself and your business.
Well, hi, besties.
Hello.
I'm excited to be in the number with, the goddess that is Rachael Hanible. Super excited, but I am a success coach. And simply put, I am a purebred encourager who helps you to navigate the self-sabotaging mindsets that often set in, especially with creatives. And I help you to stop self-sabotaging and start successing by identifying where the roots are of those self-sabotaging behaviors, and then giving you some goals and helping you to develop an action plan that's customized to your journey on your way to success.
Wow, that's awesome. Me and Crystal, we were literally just talking about that, about the imposter syndrome and self-sabotaging. So how would you recognize that that's what it is that you're doing? That you're self-sabotaging and that you have this imposter syndrome. What is it?
I have to be honest with you. That is half of the battle with, especially most of the folks that I come in contact with, is that they don't recognize that it starts with themselves, right? So oftentimes what I do is I kind of work backwards and I start to ask questions about what are your goals? Where do you see yourself? And how do you plan to get to the goal? And once we identify kind of outwardly where it is that they see themselves, then we can start to unpack that luggage and do the work to figure out, now, why aren't we where we say that we're going? And as you begin to unpack the luggage and peel back the layers, that's when all signs generally start to point to the you in your ability to succeed or sabotage. And so many times it looks like something as simple as you, and you would be surprised, you walk around as kind of one of those, I'm just here, I'm humble. You can't take a compliment. You are doing candles this week, you're doing body wash next week, and then you are a fitness coach because you are strengthened and you have shiny ball syndrome. It's these little things. The Bible says the small foxes spoil the vine, right? So it's those little things that go unchecked and unrecognized that often are the root to your own self-sabotage. So again, I just kind of work from the big picture because creatives love to dream big and they're big visionaries, but they're often not really great executors. So we kind of work it in reverse, but Missy said, work it, put your thing down. So that's we do. And we end up with it.
I just said that to Krista the other day. I said people see graphics on, ebooks and workbooks, and they're buying it. You don't even know what's in there. Like I've seen people post it, and like you said, you were selling candles, but your book is about health and fitness and how to lose 50 pounds in 3 days. And because you had a cute picture on the front, you had 50 comments, and people are like, "Oh, I want that book." And I was like, Crystal, they don't even know what's in the book. It didn't list what's in the book or anything. So why do you want to buy this book? This girl doesn't even maybe the girl is heavyweight. Like she's like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? That's funny that you said that. And so like imposter syndrome, what is that though? Like, is that the same thing? Like is there like a actual definition for that? Or is that something completely different? Or are people using it as like a cop out because they feel like they're not good at what they're doing?
So one of the things that I'm really big on is not creating a judgment zone, but in contrast, creating a safe space, right? And so I never call my folks out as, doing cop outs, but I actually, again, get to the root of that thing. It's really rooted in a fear. There are so many people who actually have a fear of success. They are afraid of what if this really actually works? What if I actually step into my purpose for real this time and actually commit myself to doing the work? What if it works? And they're afraid of that because they have never seen anyone else around them have anything work. They have had poor role models, right? And they've also never given themselves permission to produce. And so they have lacked their whole life in appreciation for authenticity over applause. So like you said, they're looking at the gram and they're going into this state of being that really is a figment of the imagination, right? Where you get all of the highlight reels, but you don't study the losses just like they do in that locker room, because you don't win every game, but there is still something to be gained. The question is, what are you plugging into? What are you downloading? And what are you actually digesting into your spirit? Because it's either going to produce a fear, or it's going to produce a place that is a platform to catapult you into who you were really created to be.
Well, I think you just stepped on some toes, hurt some feelings. We have some people doing emojis like this. Some people, sadly, that's me. So let's give everybody a break because I feel like you're coming at me a little bit too. So we're going to let's jump to Rachel real quick and just tell us a little bit about how did you get on this path to financial freedom? What set you on this path, and how did you? First, let's talk about save a year's worth of income, because I know a lot of people that's a goal. Like, how did you do that?
Well, I grew up poor. According to my mom, we were poor. So I put it in the category that she puts it in to honor that. So I grew up poor, and where I come from, the income was low, the hope was low, and the crime was high. And, everyone was struggling with money. You go to school and all the jokes are about who's broker than the other person. And so it just, it hit me one day that there literally has to be more to life than this. This paycheck to Monday kind of, I can't even say paycheck to paycheck. It's like, oh, by Monday it's gone. And so I started to educate myself on what that even looks like as far as financial freedom. I took a class in college, and they forced us to get Wall Street Journal subscriptions, and I'm just reading it every day, and I'm trying to figure out, what are these words? What does investing mean? What is the stock market? And just started educating myself on all those things that I didn't learn in school, all those things that those conversations we weren't having at the dinner table. So I just, created certain goals for myself that I wanted to complete before the age of 30, and getting out of debt was one of those things. I had student loan debt, I had credit card debt, I had a car debt, I had some debt going on there. And I was like, I got to get rid of this. I want to be debt free. Although I don't know anyone who's debt free, I want to be debt free. And I started with, as far as the savings, I started with, having that idea of emergency fund. They say 3 months, 6 months. And then it, got, kind of fun. I was like, let me see how much. And I challenged myself, like, let me see how much I can save. And so that was picking up side jobs, odd jobs, things around the holiday, doing retail around the holiday season. I used to sell Avon. I was like just using all of my gifts and talents at that time to figure out ways to bring in extra income. I was good at Microsoft Excel. So I started teaching Excel classes out of my apartment, my little apartment, 1-bedroom apartment. And, just figuring out ways that I can, stretch that difference between my income and my outgoing. So, budget, having a really good budget and an allowance amount that I would stick to. One of the things that helped me the most was being committed to packing my lunch every day. No matter what, I was going to pack my lunch every day. I was not going to eat out for lunch. And that right there, I saved a ton of money just doing that one thing. And so the number one thing is to create a goal, a realistic goal, but an actual target. I feel like we all know we should do better. We all know we should talk to God more. We all know we should be more forgiving. We all know that we should drink more water. Mm-hmm. So I feel like we're all afraid to put an actual number to it. We're all afraid to create an actual target that we can aim. Thank you. I'll say the sips. I say taking the sips. I feel free to take a sip. But yeah, so I, putting that target and giving it a number and working towards it day by day is basically how I was able to complete those goals.
Celicia said, "I'm packing my lunch for tomorrow right now. LOL." Y'all out here stepping on toes tonight.
Oh yeah, that lunch thing is the truth. It's hard. That's one of my goals that I started recently, packing my lunch, making sure I have a lunch, the kids have a lunch. So it is definitely starting with that first goal. I love that part.
Yeah, you save a lot of money that way. Sometimes I would pack my lunch and then still end up buying something. Like I would not want what I packed. So I guess I
started packing my debit cards.
Oh yeah.
Just for that purpose.
Yeah, you have to be disciplined.
Oh, that word, the D word. Oh my God. And I have to say, Rachel and I know each other, and she is not just saving money. She is out here saving lives. Like real talk, these are the superheroes that we don't honor during Women's History Month and every other day of the year. And I have to say, she has inspired me in so many different ways to use my gift of creativity to flow into everything else I do. So let me just give you a shout out, because my latest creative invention by you is I'm doing a freezer fast. What is a freezer fast? It's when you don't order out and you don't eat nothing until your freezer is what? Empty. And the way my life is set up, my freezer is never empty. Legit. I'm a mama, so I got to make sure we have food in the house. And so whatever it is you're ordering out, 9 out of 10 times you have it in your freezer. And go on ahead and get some free cooking lessons on YouTube, people. Come on in here.
That part.
We do that as a little. We don't do the empty freezer because I coupon, like you know. But what me and the kids do, like not once a month, because every other month we do no food waste. So there's no food wasted, because even though you're cooking everything, on trash day, our trash day is Tuesday, and my kids know on Monday night is must go night, and it was like must go. Yeah, everything must go means you need to warm it up, heat it. All the leftovers must go, but they're not going in the trash. So we do that one. There's no food waste, because they kids are wasteful. They're wasteful.
I love her. I love all of you. Yes. I have my pad out too, taking notes. Come on.
And
lady.
I have Rachel's book. Well, it's in my phone, in my download. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I have your book, and because you can add to it because you download it, I had to add a whole bunch of sheets. So I have 2. I'm looking over this way because that's where they're at. I have 2 legal notepads. One is yellow and one is white. The one in yellow is my version of green, which means that was money coming in. The white is money going out. So when I'm doing my bills for the month, and then I open up my bank account, and what clear gets checked off. What isn't clear doesn't get checked off. And there's my budget for the month. And I have no entertainment budget, because you know why? We have Netflix. We have Hulu. There's no entertainment budget.
And I'm glad that you said that, because really a budget, people hate that B word, but really a budget, we look at it as like a list of things that we can't do, right? And a list of things we have to sacrifice. But you really want to look at it as a list of things you can do. Like, what can your money do for you? And I think that part of shifting that, flicking that switch of a wealthy mindset, is thinking like, what can my money do for me? And stop asking yourself, what can I do for money? And once you start to think in that way, start asking those questions, the answers will start to come to you. We've been asking the wrong questions of ourselves this whole time, right? And we've been speaking the wrong things into existence, like, oh, I'll never retire like this. Oh, I'll never do this. Things will always be this way, and it doesn't have to be. And so I'm excited about you being able to have those 2 numbers between your income and your outgone, because that's where your wealth is going to come from. Your wealth is going to come from the gap of those 2 numbers. That is, everything that's in the middle is going to be where you're going to invest, where you're going to save, where you're going to be able to, do certain things that have your money working for you, as long as you're able to widen that gap as much as possible. So I'm extremely proud and excited for you.
I have a question, going back to what you were talking about earlier, for the passion strategist. About sometimes somebody is selling candles, then they're selling weight loss teas, then they're doing this and they're doing that. But some people, especially creators, they have multiple talents, and they really do want to do all these things, and they feel like they're passionate about all those things. Do you have any advice? We talk a lot of times about, we talked about it last time, 7 streams of income, and what's your advice for putting all that together for somebody who wants to do all these things? They're passionate about all these things.
So there are 6 different mindsets that literally come to sabotage the creative, and you need to find yourself so you can check yourself before you wreck yourself. It's really simple. I'm going to literally shout out for you right now. 6 mindsets. Find yourself. And no, I'm not punching anybody. I'm not chin checking anybody, but I need you to find yourself. It's really important. And I'll tell you why in a second. So the first mindset that comes to steal from the creative is the fear mindset. And that's when you're actually in demand for your gift or your talent, but you're afraid to fly. You're simply afraid to fly. And so rather than get on that plane and go to California because they called for you, you're going to find a boat bus and take 2 weeks to get to where you should be right now because you're simply afraid. Then there's that distracted mindset, and this is the one that you're talking about, that shiny ball syndrome, and that shows up looking like you being uncommitted. So that's why you don't know if you want to sell Herbalife, or if you want to be a Planet Fitness rep, or if you want to be on Crystal's Go Beautiful team, or if you just want to walk dogs. You're uncommitted, right? Listen, we gotta call it out, right? Then there's the why me mindset, and what that is it talks about why you really have never bothered to define why you're motivated. What drives you to do what you do? Because if your drive is based on other people and what they need and what they want and what they think you should do, you're not going to hit your goal. You're not going to set a goal. You're not going to be able to even articulate a goal. Right? Then there's the can't versus the won't. So that's when you have no goals or low goals. And all that is really you making excuses and giving yourself passes for not doing what bosses do. And bosses make decisions. Decision making is a boss move, period. Okay. And then we have the perfection, no exceptions. Now, I like to shout out my overachievers on this one, because what happens is you fail to embrace the beauty in failing forward, because you're so busy criticizing yourself and nitpicking everything that you do. You miss the joy in your journey. These things are coming to steal your success, and they are all absolutely mindsets. And then the last one is it wasn't me. And it wasn't me is that person that is in need of positive reinforcement to embrace that they were actually called to this. They are actually qualified to do this, but they don't believe in themselves. Here's the deal. Whatever one of those lanes you fall in, that is not something that we cannot fix. Rachel talked to us a minute ago about shifting your perspective, because when you shift your perspective, you literally change the trajectory of where you're going. But the reality is this: if you're not willing to find yourself, like they say in the 12-step program, the first thing is saying, I have a problem. Acknowledge that you have a problem, because once you do that, then you can partner with someone to help you to identify exactly what your problem is. But we don't just want to talk about the common cold. We also want to talk about the common cure, because there is a cure for what's ailing you and for what's stopping you. But you got to be willing to come in and get that diagnosis and be real with the doctor. Don't go to the doctor and pay him a copay and then tell him, oh, nothing's wrong, nothing hurts, I'm good. If you're good, why are you on my schedule? Why are you taking up some time that somebody else who really needs my attention really could have had? So we need to keep real with ourselves. And that, I think that too many times we get stuck in the imposter syndrome from the vantage point of, oh, it's, I feel like I'm a fake in the arena where I am. I'm trying to, keep up with the Joneses. When in actuality, the imposter syndrome is you not appreciating your own authenticity. There is something that you have a birthright of brilliance, period. It cannot be stolen. It can't even be given away, because it's like rubber and glue. Whatever you say is going to bounce off of them and stick back to you, because it's who you were born to be. But if you don't step into your power stance and own that birthright of brilliance, then you'll never produce the promise that was laced on the inside of you before you got here.
I wish you try to make people cry.
Man, I think are needed.
I want to hear the joy.
Yes.
Me Blowout said, she said, great question, thank you. She said, so me, and just punch me in the gut. So yeah, I mean, I don't even have a follow-up question right now. So we're going to jump over to Rachel. We have a question for you from the audience. Do you suggest married couples have a joint account for paying household expenses, or is having separate accounts and designated assigned bills to each person? I guess it's best as her question.
I would suggest that you have a joint account for anything that has a due date. Anything that has a set due date that is an actual household bill, then you should have a joint account for that. Now, you can work out, how much from each of your paychecks is going to go in there. Depends on, maybe one of you, makes more than the other. I'm not quite sure, but you can, decide, how much of your check and how much of your spouse's check is going to go in there and how often. But as long as you have enough to cover those monthly expenses. So you need to know what they are first. You need to know what are those things that specifically has an actual due date. The only thing that miscellaneous things is what you do with your separate accounts. But for this joint account, it's anything that is not miscellaneous. That is something that has to be, once a month, has a monthly due date. You get a total of what that is. Have a money date. Get dressed up. Y'all decide what y'all gonna eat and what kind of music you're gonna play, and that's gonna make a difference in this money conversation that you're gonna have. It makes a big difference in the money conversation you're gonna have. So you come together and you decide, these are the totals, this is everything, and you always want to make sure you build a budget around the worst case scenario. So what is the highest water bill you've seen? What is the highest electric bill you've seen? So you want to build it around the worst case scenario, and always put a little bit extra in there for cushion. So if you tell me that, hey, coach, the combined expenses that are fixed expenses in our household is $2,000, then try to figure out a way that you can put in a total of $2,300 or something like that. Give yourself a little cushion every month, so when you have those months when the gas bill is higher than normal or things like that, you already have this cushion already set in there, and it won't break the bank, and it won't break the budget. So I hope that answers your question. And then do whatever and create allowance for yourself, sweetheart, and your spouse can create allowance for themselves, and y'all can go have fun. Y'all want to in the miscellaneous, with your separate accounts, but make sure home is taken care of first, and whatever y'all do after that is up to you.
She said for 8 years, things have been completely separate and paid by due dates, but I'm wondering if we combine things, will it help rid our debt?
And even consider requesting a different due date based on when you get paid, right? So a lot of your due dates are negotiable. They figure as long as you pay us once a month, whether it be the 15th or the 12th, we just want you to pay us. So, consider requesting a different due date that may fit you, so that you don't, you're not trying to keep up with when is the due date. If you get paid bi-weekly, twice a month, then split the months into two halves. So what's going to get paid before the 14th? Before the 15th? What's due before the 15th? Okay, now what we're going to do, what are we going to pay the second half of the month? Split out that way so it's even. You already know what's going to come out, and it's less work that you have to go through.
And so for the passion strategist, how did you Rachel kind of told us about like her upbringing and how she got on this path to financial freedom. How did you get on this path to just having a better mindset and just understanding self-sabotaging ways, and to, bring yourself to the point of being enlightened?
I love that question, and I love it because it gives me the opportunity to really share with folks how I serve, right? Because what I do, in essence, like there's got to be a title for that, right? There's an app for everything. And so, yes, I'm a success coach by title, right? But let me tell you who I am. I am a recovering self-saboteur. So the reason I can speak to your head and your heart is because guess what? I have a different version of the Me Too movement. Me Too, right? And so after realizing for years and years, I have been giving myself away, giving my gift away, showing up to everybody's everything because I just had to be there. The doors of the church are open. I got to be there because if I'm not there and I don't show up, I have been there, done that, got the t-shirt, the button, the hat, the backstage pass. And let me tell you what I realized in the end was that the only thing that I was doing was stunting my own growth. Right. And so what happened to me and how the Passion Strategist was actually born is living life, going through these experiences, experiencing some of these hurts and injuries that we don't even realize are self-inflicted until later on. But I became a mom. Right. And I think that a lot of folks can attest to there's this moment in their life that literally causes a shift. And so I had a baby. I had a girl. And I said, thank you, God, because I don't know nothing about no boys. But in that moment, it also trickled down to, okay, one day, my daughter was walking around. She has been walking in my high heel shoes since she was like 2. She'll be 8 in a couple of months. And I saw her walk in one day. And while everybody else would have had that, I had a whole conversation with God. You talk about a chin check and a gut punch. He said, that's beautiful, but are you leaving her shoes that are worthy of walking in or just worn down from the wrong choices? That part. And in that moment, the passion strategist was born. And I'll say born because she was always in there. She was incubating and I was carrying her in my womb, but I never gave her permission to push through. And in that moment, I decided that there was no way that I was going to raise a little girl to be a woman who was not secure in who she was, who was not confident in what she could do, and who was not a complete and total sold out believer in the possibilities. And so I took that fuel, I took that energy, and I said, okay, God, show me me. And when he did that, what I found was that there was a gift the whole time, and it was in this package that maybe had a little dust on it, maybe it had a little ding on the box, but it was still a gift and it was valuable. And so I decided to then start to unwrap, unleash, and untangle myself so that I could be given a gift to the world. Because that's what God said, right? And I had y'all learned this about me real quick. I am very creative, and so he downloads things to me with lots of analogies and acronyms and that kind of stuff because it makes it simple. And so he gave me the gift, and the gift is to get intentional about fearlessly thriving. But a gift is not a gift until it's given. And so I had to get committed to giving my gift every single day when I woke up. I had to stand in my power stance. I had to make boss moves, meaning make decisions to actually carry out those little small actions on that action plan. Like Rachel was just saying to us, we have to change the way we look at things. Budget is not a bad word, right? And it's not about what you can't do. It's about what you can do. And so when I allowed myself to digest that mind shifting moment, it produced everything that is still coming, even in this moment and in this day. So I encourage everybody to stop being afraid. It's like being afraid of, and Rachel can attest to this, it's like being afraid to open a bill or to do a credit report. It ain't as bad as you think it is. It's actually good waiting for you to unwrap and unleash it, but you got to be brave enough to step up and do it. And this is the time for us to step up and do it. He literally put the world on pause to give you the opportunity to step up and do it. Don't let the Lord pausing the world for your sake be in vain. Don't let 2020 come and be just another number, just another year. Absolutely not. That should be the platform that many people are bursting from promise from, because he did it just for you.
So since you said, wow, me Blowout said, love it.
Can I just say that the passion strategist, she has definitely, this has always been her calling. She is so great at what she does, and one of the things she does, even for me, but for all the people who she come in contact with those entrepreneurs, is she has a gift of encouraging people. She has this way of speaking life into people, and you assume that because you're going into a business that you're passionate about, that you're going to love doing it every single day. And there is going to honestly be days that it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be days, even though you're doing what you feel like you're called to do, you may not skip and run every single day to do it. And you're going to need people like the passion strategist. She's just so incredibly amazing at it. And it can literally be a day where I'm like, I love teaching kids about money. This is my favorite thing to do, but I'm really slowly getting out of bed one body part at a time, and I'm rolling out. And I will get a message from her, or I'll get some encouragement from her. She's so great at what she does. And she just dropped, I feel like we need to pass offering plate. I don't know what.
Yeah, we're gonna because it's getting a little heavy. Let's
I love it.
We're gonna take a little 2-second break for a word from our sponsors. When we come back, we're going to ask some more questions about you guys. Crystal and Rajay can get their questions in. So we'll be right back.
Hey y'all, can y'all hear me? I know you can't see me because I'm hiding. They after me, y'all. They after me. They don't believe that Go Beautiful got my skin looking just as luscious, just as brown melanin popping. No fine lines, no wrinkles. They can't believe I'm going to be 50 years old this year, y'all, and looking this good. Shh, I hear them coming. Go to www.gobeautiful.com. That's GOBEAUTIFULL.com. Oh, they coming, y'all. Go shop today.
Thank you for tuning in to Bestie's Building Brands podcast.
If you're interested in being a guest or having your business advertised on our podcast, please send an email to podcastmanager@bestiesinbiz.com. After the show, don't forget to head over to Facebook and Instagram to subscribe to our page, Besties Building Brands.
That was good.
Make sure you guys go and shop Go Beautiful so you can have your melanin popping like Miss Crystal here, please.
What?
Okay. You heard what she said. They after her. If you want your skin to be popping, Go Beautiful with 2 L's.
That was
okay.
That was a hard night.
That was a good night. I love that one. That's one of my favorites. So we can start with you guys' questions first, and then we'll, we usually ask questions about how you grow up, who inspires you, things like that. But we can start with Crystal and then Rajay, if you guys have any questions.
Okay, yes. So I have a question for the passion strategist. Earlier today, I was on a little story and then a question. I was on a couple Zoom meetings, and throughout the week, I had been hearing, there's been all week, about imposter syndrome. And one of the Zoom meetings I was in today, one woman, she mentioned that part of the imposter syndrome is also a trauma response. Do you believe that to be true?
I do. And I'll tell you why. I myself spent so many years downplaying my gifts because I was trying to make other people feel comfortable in the presence of my greatness. I was trying to fit in and to belong, not understanding that I was meant to actually create communities, not to necessarily conform to a community. And so I think that it very much is a trauma response. When you have people who don't quite get you or your vision, when you have people constantly telling you who you're not, who you'll never be, what you can't achieve, you internalize those things, especially as a child, because you don't have the emotional intelligence and ability to maturely kind of process the meat and spit out the bones. And so, yes, it's like little cuts that are happening to you. And one day you wake up bloody or scabby or bruised and you don't know where or why. And so your response is to shut in and shut down and be a wallflower, when in fact you were created to stand out, but you're doing everything you can to blend in. And so you're then hurting yourself all over again and making those injuries fresh because you're hitting those same pain points, but you're doing it yourself now because you've been conditioned to do it. So it absolutely is a trauma response, but it is not something that we can't. I'm a very big believer that you can heal the trauma on your timeline. It can be done. But again, you got to be brave enough to show up, step up, and do the work. And you don't have to do it alone, but you do need to do it under the watchful eye of that person who is assigned to help you through it. You cannot work with an attachment because an attachment will cause another tear. You need to work with an assignment because the assigned one is anointed to pour the oil and pour the balm on you that's going to heal that thing once and for all and not continue to hurt you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You know how we get down, okay? Right. And for Rachel, my question for you, and I believe that a lot of what happens to us as African American people, and also women and men, the conversations that aren't being had and being talked about, as far as mindset, as far as the trauma response and finances. So when you are doing your finance classes for our young people, I'm gonna call them young people today because they're upstairs. Are you finding that you see yourself when you were a child? Are you finding them saying the same children in your classes, like the same background, the same conversations? Well, not exactly the same, but that grew up like you did, or not having the same conversations? Are you seeing that in the classes that you give to our young children?
Yes, absolutely. I see it every single time I have a class. There's always at least one, if not, a whole lot of the children in the class that same, the background is the same. And especially I'm in Philadelphia, and the crime amongst our young people is really high, and a lot of it is because of loss of hope. A lot of it is because we've closed down our rec centers, we've closed down all these after school programs, we've closed down so many things that gave them another way. And so I have been specifically with the kids in my city, making sure that those teenagers understand what entrepreneurship, making sure they know how to start a budget, make sure they know how to start a business, making sure that they know that there's a better way that they can make money. There's a better way that they can channel out all that energy and all that anger that they may be experiencing. And yeah, a whole lot of them are like me. And I think that that's what makes it effective, because I know what I wish I knew then, right? So I know I can speak their language. I'm from the hood, so we have certain hood conversations, and I'm able to speak their language. And that's one of the most important parts, right? You can have someone who has knowledge. You can have someone who went to school and they read a book and they have the information. But if they're not able to relate to the people that they were speaking, if they're not able to speak their language, if these young people are not inspired, you want to have the perfect marriage of information and inspiration. And I'm often seeing them that look there, yeah, just like me, just like my brothers, having the same questions, not understanding the simple basic things, and there's no judgment, because I didn't know either. I can be like, yeah, me too, I didn't know either. And so they're able to ask questions that to them, they're like, I don't know if this is a dumb question, but we start all our classes off, there's no dumb questions, there's no teacher student, we're all learning from each other, and it's able to create a safe environment where they now can grow, where they now can open up, where we can unlock doors in their mind and their heart and their spirits to more, to bigger, to brighter. So yeah, they're all a part of me as far as I'm concerned.
I have a second part to that question. So I tuned in to your live I think it was last week, with the young gentleman from the bank. Okay. And along with our young people, our teens who are getting into this entrepreneurship, they know how to flip a dollar, do some lashes, get this real estate going, flip this house, right? What do you say to them that are following these Insta famous individuals who are spreading I'm trying to use my good words here, that are not telling the truth about your LLC and how it cannot get you $50K from the bank off the bat, how the real estate is not just you going to an auction and buying a house, and they see that, because our kids, they're glued in. They're glued in and tuned in to Instagram, TikTok, Instagram and TikTok, because that's for young people. Facebook is for seasoned vets, by the way, and they believe that. And then when you're telling them that, hey, that's not it, that's not how it works, and then you're like, oh, you're a hater, or you old, that's how we're doing it now. What do you say to them?
I tell them to try it and then call me when they're done.
Right.
Because I do run into some, and by the way, you're saying young people, but I have the same conversation with grown adults. So I always tell people that what all I give is suggestions. All I can do is suggest. Now, I can't make anyone do anything. I can give you the information, and you can decide what to do with it. And there are some people that are just absolutely determined to do it the way that TikTok tells them they can do it. And I'm like, well, keep in touch. I'll promise not to change my email address, so that you can let me know how that works out. Now, I'm telling you, we do this exercise where we walk through the house. We walk through the house. Okay, so you've created this imaginary house in your mind of how you think this is going to work out. So walk and take me there. What's the tour? You go through that first door and you build your LLC, and then what? What are you going to do when you're in that room now? Oh, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Okay, now you're going to walk through the next room. Now what are you going to do after you get all your t-shirts and after you do all this, and then like, oh, I don't know. Okay, well, you're missing a lot of holes in your in your house got a lot of holes in the floor. Okay, so you got a lot of locked doors and a lot of holes in the floor. So you want to build a house that you can actually live in. Build a house that you can actually live in, that's actually realistic, that has actionable steps that you can build upon, and that we want a long lasting business. You don't want to just be popping for 2021. You know, you want your business to thrive, you want it to grow, and you want to stay, you don't want to go to jail. So, you know, we walk through that and I'll let them decide.
Okay.
Raja, you have any questions?
Yes, my question is for the passion strategist. First, I just want to say thank you, because just listening to your words, I could tell who I am, what I need to do. Like, I feel like I could take that next step in acknowledging and actually pursuing my next step. So first of all, thank you. And that's just from that conversation. So I would just imagine what you're doing with your work. I know it's amazing. But my question for you is, someone who is looking to change their mindset, what would you point them, that one piece of direction that you would give them for them to start with?
So I'm going to give you a sneak peek into some of the goodness that our folks who are in our cohorts and going through our coaching program, one of the things that we do. So I call it the mind mapping project, right? And it's simply this. You need to identify the triggers, the symptoms, and the strategies. What triggers you to go into that self-sab mode? What are the symptoms? What does it look like when it's happening? And then what strategies can we work together to develop so that when you notice, I'm doing it again, you can identify it, you can stop yourself in the midst of it, and then you can do a mind change, you can do a heart change, you can shift the direction that you were going in. It's simple, but it is effective. It's like Novocaine. Let it get in there. I promise you it's going to work. So many times what happens is we don't write it down. We don't want to look at it. We don't want it looking back at us, right? So it's almost like getting dressed in the dark, but doing it in front of a mirror. You had the resource right there, but you're so afraid to actually look at your own self in the mirror. You have such low self-esteem that you're not even willing to stare yourself in the face and speak affirmation to yourself. And what I found is that many of the folks that I encounter are addicted to what I call, I say it like this, validation. They have that validation syndrome. And what I have to do is say, listen, it's this simple for you to change that. Validation is for parking. Confirmation is for calling. Are you a car or are you called? Because if you're a car, then by all means, please continue to be validated for every parking lot that you're allowed to go into and out of, and you're charged for being there and occupying somebody else's lane and space. But if you're called to this thing that you're doing, then I want you to stop seeking validation and start listening for confirmation and looking around you for the evidence of you being who you are. Let me tell you something, as a purebred encourager, when I show up in a room, I don't care if I know people there or not, somebody is leaving there with encouragement because I can't help myself. It's what happens. I get activated because it's who I'm born to be. And you need to tap into the who you're born to be, because I promise you, it's going to turn on and activate. And then what will happen is you'll learn to get sharper with how you wedge that sword, right? A surgeon goes through some time and some training, and they learn a lot of book stuff, and they watch a lot of videos, and they even work on their papers. But there's nothing like actually getting in there and putting that thing to use. Iron sharpens iron. That means something is happening. There's friction. There's movement. And so as long as you're stagnant because you're afraid, then you're going to find yourself in that continuous cycle of self-sabotage. But you do not have to live there. It's all right to change your address and your phone number. New phone, who this? It's okay.
I feel like I started to get this equipment for the show because I need like the shouting sounds to go on or some claps or something. Like, you guys are just bringing the information, and I'm just so thankful for you guys being on the show today. Oh, go ahead. Let me do the shout sound.
I was about to say, how you gonna sit there and play me? You ain't seen that bomb commercial I just did? I could do the sound effect. Hold on, let me. Amen. Say that.
He gotta say, he tied my bow tie. He tied my bow tie.
Yes.
See, shit about a Honda. See. Anyway,
So I want you to
Rachel.
tell us how Rachel, starting with you, tell us what you're offering, how they can set up an appointment with you, what do they need to do? A couple people have said they need to meet with you guys one-on-one, so how do they do that?
Well, you can request a one-on-one session with me at rachelhanible.com. You can, all the information is on there as far as what I offer. It will come with a personalized budget, a personalized savings goal and plan. And it's not just, I don't believe, money is one size fit all. Financial freedom is not one size fit all. So I really walk with you, figuring out where you are and where you want to be, and creating a step-by-step plan to get from where you are to where you want to be. And for the ebook as well, which is a personal finance workbook, it's a real workbook. So you're going to be doing some real work. There's a lot of tips in there. There are some hands-on exercises that you have to do that will walk you through your journey towards financial freedom as well. It's more of a feeling of taking your personal finance coach home with you. And so you can also get that on rachelhanible.com as well. And for Amber's Magical Savings Box, which is my children's book that teaches kids about earning and saving money, is for ages 3 to 10. It is available everywhere books are sold: Barnes & Noble, Target, Walmart, and Amazon. So you can grab that book as well for your future millionaires.
All right. Okay.
And it to me. So.
And the Passion Strategist, what do you have for the people, and how can they contact you?
Well, first of all, I have kudos for my girl Rachel, because I'm telling you, I love her. Listen, if you have never been called a millionaire, I need you to get with this lady here and listen to her call you by your name, because you will respond, period. Okay, that just extra gem had to be said. She's so good. Anywho, for me, I am currently seeding people in our next cohort of group coaching. I have an amazing 6-week intensive that's going to be kicking off in May called Success Over Sabotage. And we literally teach you how to begin to put your success over that sabotage that you found yourself in, so that you can move forward, right? And stop being a part of the cycle that may have been plaguing your family generationally. You are the cycle breaker, the curse breaker. It ends with you, and you get to write a new chapter in this story. So you can meet me over at thepassionstrategist.com, and you can do one of two things. You can either schedule a passion preview strategy session where we can literally identify your gift and your goal, and decide if you are designed to serve or to solve. Once we get that clear, then you can take the next step and reserve your seat in the cohort at the SOS Creatives Intensive. Again, all this information at thepassionstrategist.com. I invite you to meet me every Friday night on Instagram Live at 6 p.m. or catch that replay. We have a creatives happy hour, and we get into it, and we have conversations that bring value, but also bring encouragement. And that happens every single week. It is my privilege and my pleasure to show up and to serve and to pour into your cup so that it can get filled up and begin to overflow, because that is the season that we're living in. So I hope to see everybody. I hope to see you subscribing so you can join the tribe and stay in the know and follow us. We are all over the place right now. Some big things happening, and some amazing goodies. When you sign up for that Creatives Intensive, amazing goodies. That's all I'm going to give you, just amazing goodies. So if you need some goodies in life and you need to change your mindset, then you definitely want to connect to this wonderful creatives community. It will bless your life.
Aww.
Rachel, what's the name of the children's box again?
Amber's Magical Savings Box.
Amber with an A, Amber.
Amber's Magical Savings Box.
So on Amazon, Target, Walmart, Barnes & Noble. She was there book signing.
Yes.
Okay.
My baby has her signed copy. Yes, she does. She's one of her next millionaires in training. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. And so let's move on to Go Beautiful. What you have, Miss Crystal?
What do I have? Bomb skincare. That's what I had. I thought y'all was gonna chime in with me. Y'all know. Y'all, somebody got to see me. Somebody has to see me in all of this. So go to gobeautiful.com. That's Go Beautiful with 2 L's. We have vegan, luxurious skincare. I just added skincare tools. So there's a facial steamer. Steamer is also good for your hair. Okay. Hot steaming for the hair while you steam your face. There's the Sonic face brush that is also charged by the USB. It's water resistant. You can use it in the shower. And I can't say this enough. Always work down. Don't forget your neck and your chest when you're doing your facial skincare and using the tools. And the one thing that I love the most is the vibrating jade roller, because it comes with 3 attachments. One smaller one for the eyes and a big one for your face. I don't know. There's something about the vibrations on your skin. It tightens your skin. It also relaxes the muscles. I don't know about you ladies, but I've noticed that at night I clench my jaws when I'm sleeping. I don't know if it's the dream. I don't know what it is, but I wake up and my jaw is really tense. So I use the vibrating jade roller in the morning just to loosen up those muscles over here, because I don't want the jowls. Like, I don't want to be the auntie, the rich auntie. Hey, Rachel, with the jowls. Okay. And also do under my chin too, because I don't want to be the rich auntie with the turkey neck. Gobble, gobble. Only turkey on a plate, not on the face. So go to gobeautiful.com for all your skincare needs.
And Miss Me Blowout said, I'm wearing a day cream right now. So definitely check it out. Go Beautiful with 2 L's. And then we have Miss Complicated.
Hey, it's Miss Complicated. I'm also the podcast manager for Besties in Biz. We're looking for independent artists. So if you guys know anybody that wants to get their music played on the show so that we can broaden our horizons on music and hopefully, help change our mindset, give us an email at podcastmanagers@bestiesinbiz. And if you're looking for fashion to change, the world, to make a difference, make a statement, check out itscomplicated.com. It is complicated, itskomplicated.com.
Yay!
All right. If you can find us on Besties Building Brands on Facebook and Instagram. We are a networking group, and we are also a nonprofit. So what we're trying to do is just basically use networking and group economics to grow our businesses, so we can in turn grow our communities that we live and work in. We know that the Black dollar does not stay in our community very long. So if we network and meet other business owners who we can collaborate with, we promote your business, you promote our business, we do it collectively, we work together with the whole goal to grow our business, then you can shop within your community, the dollar stays in the community, and the wealth gap we can, eventually start to close. We may not see it in our lifetime, but we have to start somewhere. So that is our goal. That is my passion. Every single thing I do is, about that. But we do have some initiatives. We are social change agents, and we want to see some changes in our community. We want to see more programs for our youth. We want to see more involvement with the seniors in our community. And then we have a heart for children with intellectual disabilities. So we've been desperately trying to raise funds so that we can create a program. We're working with Crystal. This is her idea. And it just so happens, like you said, you activate when you get in a room, when you're operating in your gift. I know that God placed Crystal in my life for a reason. I didn't even have my twins when I met Crystal. And now I have twins who I'm kind of going through some similar issues with, and she's really been a blessing to me. And I want Besties to be able to help her with her idea. So I'll let her explain it. She can explain it best. But you can donate to us through our PayPal link, which is on our website, bestiesinbiz.org. If you have a heart for the community, if you have a heart for just to see social change, and if you have a heart for the kids. Go ahead,
I want to jump in really quick because I love this idea of cooperative economics, and I cannot help but, when sitting in the presence of all this goodness and this greatness, to find a way to connect. So I want to encourage any of your viewers, your listeners, if you reach out to me between now and the end of this month and you schedule a passion preview session, I will donate every single bit of your strategy session fee to you guys' nonprofit. I believe in what you're doing. I know that it is going to make a difference generationally, and I have to find a way to be able to be a part of that. And so that is my my gift today. I'm compelled to do that. So please, if it's not for you, if you know a creative or someone who seems to be stuck in that cycle of self-sabotage and they just need, one kind of clarity session, encourage them to reach out to me at thepassionstrategist.com. Every single person who books that passion preview strategy, the money is coming back to Besties and Bids, period. And if you come through Besties and Bids and use code Besties, then I will give you a 10% discount off of your seat in the cohort that's kicking off in May. So you have two ways to win. One, you can pour back into these ladies who are pouring into all of us. And two, you can get on the train and get moving towards your success. So go ahead and schedule that passion preview strategy session so that we can get this nonprofit funded and flowing. And then go ahead and schedule your seat in the Success Over Sabotage cohort so that you can get unstuck, and let's get moving. Let's go, ladies. Let's go.
I feel like you're determined to make us cry. I'm trying to be strong here. You know what I mean? And I feel like you're trying to make me cry.
Right. You see me wiping my thug tears on my faux berry been up on my eyes like twice.
We thugs over here. We don't cry. Right. I'm trying to hold it together, but we really appreciate that. We've been trying desperately to raise the funds. I think we probably have about $300, and we've been trying since ever. Anyway, 10% off.
Right.
10% off.
Right. And then if you're scheduling just your passion preview session, that money goes completely back to you guys. Completely.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Crystal. Let's talk about what we're trying to do, our first initiative that we're working on, that we're trying to get off the ground this year.
Okay, so this initiative is, of course, Go Beautiful Idea, IDEA. It stands for Intellectual Disability Employment / Education Agency. My son, Tyler, Yana knows my Tyler.
Hi.
He was born 1 pound, 1 ounce, not given a chance to thrive at all. He's 7. He's also autistic, nonverbal autistic. And when I look at my son, I want a better future for him. And, when we really don't understand certain things in life until we're going through them. And I never understood autism. I never understood intellectual disability until I had my son. And working with several agencies, I realized that they, young adults with intellectual disabilities aren't really given a chance to thrive in our community. You'll see them, and you see them when they are at Walmart or the mall, walking in their line with one person, or you see them at the grocery store getting the carts from the parking lot, or welcoming you to Walmart. And when I look at my son, he's more than that. He's very intelligent, and I want more for not only him but other young adults. So with IDEA, I came up with this plan to create an agency to help them get gainful employment. They have gifts beyond us. They have skills beyond us, and they can do more than that. And I feel like with IDEA Agency, we can partner with larger corporations and also businesses in our community to train them on specific jobs in your business, and also to educate them on social skills, because our special people really lack social skills because they aren't out in the community. And I want it to be more than just the movies and more than just the mall, and having the community come in and not only just educate the community, but also educate our young adults with intellectual disabilities to be able to have sustainable life and to have gainful employment. So that is IDEA. And if you, like Ayana said, if you know someone who can help us further this on. You can donate to bestiesbusiness.org. You can connect me to, I've reached out to Walmart. I'm in talks with Walmart and Target and one other corporation just so they can help me understand, because they did say they have an autism program, but I need more information than just them saying they have it, and what else they're doing and how we can connect the two, and also get our young adults who have graduated high school last year or possibly the year before and who are graduating this year to, get employed.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. Thank you so much. It was an awesome show. I hope everybody listening got something out of it. I hope you guys were taking notes. If not, catch the replay. Make sure you go to RachelHanible.com, get her workbooks, get your finances in order. A lot of people are talking about they want business credit and they're trying to get their credit on track, but they're not putting in the work. So make sure you get their workbook, go through the exercises. Make sure you check out the Passion Strategist at thepassionstrategist.com. Get your 10% off. Get into the next cohort. Get your skin popping with Go Beautiful 2 L's, and make sure that you're setting your own fashion trend with It's Complicated with the K.com. We want to stand out from the rest. Okay, and check us out, Besties Building Their Brands, Facebook and Instagram, and you have a good weekend. Thanks, guys.